I stood in our bedroom at 4 in the morning watching Madison sleep. Just 2 hours ago, she screamed that I was too clingy. All I did was ask where she was, at 3 a.m. 4 years of loving her, building a life together, trusting her with everything I had. Now here I was, suitcase packed, one-way ticket on my phone, ready to vanish. She called my love a burden, so I decided to set her free. What turned us into strangers in one night? Before I tell you how I went from a loving boyfriend to a ghost in one single night, let me know where you are watching from in the comments. If this story speaks to you, hit that like button and subscribe. Now let me take you back to where it all began, when I thought I had found the love of my life. I met Madison on an ordinary Tuesday morning in October. I was 25 years old, working as a software engineer at a tech company in Columbus, Ohio. That day I stopped at my usual coffee shop before heading to the office. The line was longer than normal, and I found myself standing behind a woman with auburn hair and a warm laugh. She was chatting with a friend on the phone, something about a marketing campaign that had gone sideways. When she reached the counter, she patted her pockets and her face fell. She had forgotten her wallet. Without thinking, I stepped forward and handed the barista a $10 bill. She turned to me surprised, and I saw her eyes for the first time. Green with flecks of gold like autumn leaves catching sunlight. "You did not have to do that," she said. "I know," I replied, "but nobody should start their day without coffee." She laughed, and something shifted in my chest. She introduced herself as Madison, 23, working at a marketing firm 2 blocks away. She insisted on getting my number so she could pay me back. I told her she could buy me coffee next time instead. That next time came 3 days later. Our first date was simple. We grabbed dinner at a small Italian place downtown, then walked through the park until midnight. She told me about her dream of running her own agency someday. I told her about my love for coding, how I found poetry in algorithms. We talked like we had known each other for years. By the end of the night, I knew she was special. Smart, funny, ambitious, and underneath all that confidence, genuinely kind. 6 months flew by in a blur of late-night conversations, weekend adventures, and falling deeper in love than I ever thought possible. Madison told me I was unlike anyone she had ever dated. She said I actually listened, actually cared, actually showed up. I thought I had found my person. After 1 year together, we decided to move in. We found a 2-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood outside Columbus. It had big windows, a small balcony, and enough space for both of us to have our own corners. I remember the day we got the keys, how Madison spun around the empty living room and said this was the start of our forever. Life settled into a beautiful routine. I would wake up early and make breakfast for both of us. Eggs, toast, fresh coffee. Madison was not a morning person, so I loved watching her shuffle into the kitchen, hair messy, eyes half closed, reaching for her mug like it was a lifeline. We would eat together, talk about our plans for the day, steal kisses before heading to work. Evenings were my favorite. We would cook dinner together, trying new recipes we found online. Some turned out great, others were disasters we laughed about for days. After dinner, we would curl up on the couch, watch movies, or just talk. I learned everything about her. Her fear of thunderstorms, her obsession with true crime podcasts, the way she hummed when she was concentrating. Weekends belonged to us. We explored the city, tried every brunch spot within 20 miles, spent lazy Sundays reading in bed. I started keeping track of little things. Her favorite flowers were peonies. She preferred dark chocolate over milk. She always cried at the end of romantic comedies, even though she pretended she did not. I filed these details away like treasures, using them to surprise her whenever I could. Madison called me the most caring man she had ever met. She said I made her feel safe, cherished, seen. We talked about the future constantly. Getting married, buying a house with a backyard, having kids someday. I started saving for a ring, imagining how I would propose. Maybe on the balcony, where we had our first kiss as roommates. Maybe at that Italian restaurant where it all started. For 2 years, life was everything I had dreamed it could be. Then slowly, things began to change. It started in our 3rd year together. Madison got promoted to a senior position at her company. More responsibility, longer hours, higher stakes. I was proud of her, genuinely happy to see her succeed. But the promotion came with a price I did not anticipate. She started coming home later. 7 became 8, then 9, then sometimes 10 at night. At first, she always had explanations. Company events, drinks with coworkers, client dinners that ran long. I understood. I knew how demanding corporate life could be. So I adjusted. I would have dinner ready whenever she got home, no matter how late. I would wait up so we could eat together, even if it meant sacrificing sleep. But then the small things started adding up. She would not answer my texts for hours. Calls went to voicemail more often than not. When I asked about her day, her answers became shorter, vaguer. Fine, busy. Tired. The woman who used to tell me everything now spoke in single syllables. One night I texted her around 7 asking when she would be home. She did not respond until almost 11. Her message was curt. Busy. Do not wait up. When she finally walked through the door past midnight, I asked if everything was okay. She snapped at me. I was working, Theodore. You do not need to check on me every hour. I apologized even though I had only sent one message. I told myself she was stressed. The new job was demanding. She needed space, not a boyfriend who hovered. So I backed off. I stopped texting during work hours. I stopped asking when she would be home. I tried to give her room to breathe, but the distance only grew wider. By our 4th year, I barely recognized our relationship. Madison came home after 10 almost every night. Her phone was always face down on the table or set to silent. Whenever it buzzed and I glanced over, she would grab it quickly, angling the screen away from me. If I walked into the room while she was texting, she would stop mid-message and shove the phone in her pocket. There were other things, too. Things I tried to ignore but could not unsee. She started showering the moment she got home, even though she never used to do that before. Sometimes I caught a whiff of cologne on her jacket, not mine. Something sharper, muskier. I told myself it was probably from a crowded bar or a client meeting. I made excuses because the alternative was too painful to consider. When I tried to talk to her, really talk, she shut me down. I asked once gently if everything was okay between us. She rolled her eyes. Why do you always need to analyze everything? We are fine. Stop being so paranoid. I asked if she wanted to do something together that weekend like we used to. She sighed. I have plans, work stuff. You know how it is. I did not know how it was, but I nodded anyway. The accusations started around this time. Whenever I expressed any concern, any desire to connect, Madison twisted it into something ugly. You are suffocating me. I need space to breathe. Why do you have to be so clingy? That word, clingy. She used it like a weapon and I let it wound me every time. I started questioning myself. Maybe I was too much. Maybe my love was a burden. Maybe I needed to change. I read articles about giving your partner space. I listened to podcasts about codependency. I convinced myself that the problem was me, that if I could just be less needy, less present, less loving, maybe she would come back to me. So I pulled away even further. I stopped initiating conversations. I stopped planning dates. I stopped asking about her day. I became a ghost in my own home, trying to take up as little space as possible. It did not work. Nothing worked. The less I gave, the less she wanted. There were nights when she did not come home at all, claiming she crashed at a friend's place because she was too tired to drive. I accepted it. I did not question it. I was too afraid of what the answers might be. My health started to suffer. I could not sleep. Food lost its taste. At work, I stared at my screen for hours, unable to focus. My manager noticed and asked if everything was okay. I lied and said I was fine. I was not fine. I was drowning in a relationship that felt more like a prison every day. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Friday in March. I had been exhausted all week and went to bed early around 10. I woke up suddenly at 2:47 in the morning, that specific feeling when something is wrong, even before your brain catches up. I reached over. The bed beside me was empty and cold. I grabbed my phone and called Madison. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. 5 times I tried and 5 times I got the same automated message. I texted her. Are you okay? Where are you? No response. The minutes ticked by. I sat in the living room, every worst-case scenario playing through my mind. Car accident. Emergency. Something terrible. At 3:35, I heard the front door open. Madison walked in, looking disheveled. Her hair was slightly messy, her makeup smudged, her blouse untucked on one side. She saw me sitting there and stopped. "What are you doing up?" she asked, her voice carrying an edge. "I was worried," I said, standing up. "Where were you?" I tried calling. And that was when she exploded. "Oh my God, here we go again." She threw her purse on the couch. "I was out with friends." "Why do you always have to know where I am every second of the day? It is almost 4 in the morning, Madison. You did not answer your phone. I was scared something happened to you." "Nothing happened to me. I was having fun for once, something you would not understand because you are too busy suffocating me, suffocating you. I just wanted to know you were safe." "You are too clingy, Theodore. I cannot breathe around you. I cannot do anything without you needing to know every detail." I stood there, her words hitting me like physical blows. And then she said something that made my blood run cold. "You know what, Derek was right about you." The room went silent. My heart stopped. "Who is Derek?" Madison's face flickered. Just for a second, I saw the realization that she had said too much. But then the mask came back harder than before. "He is just a friend from work. But at least he does not treat me like a prisoner. At least he lets me be myself." "A friend," I repeated. "A friend you have never mentioned once in 4 years. Because I knew you would be like this, jealous and controlling and impossible. Have you been seeing him?" She did not answer. She just glared at me with cold eyes and said, "I am going to bed. I do not have the energy for this." She walked past me into the bedroom and slammed the door. I stood alone in the living room. The clock on the wall read 3:52, and in that moment everything became clear. The late nights, the secrecy, the phone calls she hid, the showers the moment she got home, the cologne that was not mine. Derek. She had not denied it. She had not even tried. I waited for anger to come, but it did not. Instead, I felt something else. A strange, cold clarity. Like waking up from a fever dream and finally seeing reality. 4 years. 4 years of love, devotion, sacrifice. 4 years of being told I was enough, that I was her person, that we were building forever. And this whole time I was the fool who believed it. She called me clingy for worrying about her at 4 in the morning. She made me feel crazy for caring. And now I knew why. It was never about me being too much. It was about her hiding something she did not want me to find. I made my decision in the silence of that room. No fights. No tears. No begging. If she wanted freedom from my love so badly, I would give it to her. Completely. I picked up my phone and started blocking. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, her phone number, every possible way she could reach me gone in 60 seconds. Then I walked to the closet and pulled out my suitcase. I packed methodically.